On a sunny Saturday afternoon in a quiet suburban neighborhood, 14-year-old Jamal Thompson was riding his bike near the park. Jamal, a bright and ambitious teenager, had just finished a tutoring session and decided to enjoy the fresh air before heading home. He wore a simple hoodie, sneakers, and a wide smile as he pedaled leisurely. But in an instant, a harmless activity turned into a harrowing ordeal, driven by the prejudices of a woman who would soon regret her actions. Mary Dalton, a longtime resident of the area, was watering her garden when she noticed Jamal biking down her street. To her, his presence seemed out of place. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone and dialed 911. Her claim of suspicious black teenager was lurking in the area. Mary's tone carried the kind of alarm that guaranteed a swift police response. She made sure to embellish her account, saying the teen appeared to be casing houses. Little did Mary know that this impulsive decision, born of prejudice, would lead to an encounter she would never forget. Within minutes, 2 police cruisers arrived on the scene, lights flashing. Jamal, who had stopped near a park bench to check his phone, looked up in confusion as officers approached him. His heart raced as they began questioning him. "What are you doing here?" one officer asked sternly. Jamal, raised to remain calm and respectful in such situations, explained that he was simply riding his bike after a tutoring session. Despite his clear and polite response, the officers asked for identification and began running his name through their system. Passers-by started to notice the commotion, some stopping to observe while others hurried along, unwilling to get involved. Mary watched from her porch, arms crossed, satisfied that she had done her part to protect her neighborhood. Her sense of accomplishment was short-lived. As the officers continued questioning Jamal, he asked if he could call his mother. With reluctant approval, he dialed her number. On the other end of the line, Governor Angela Thompson, a trailblazing leader and the first black woman to hold the office in the state, listened intently as her son recounted the incident. Her calm exterior belied the fire burning within her. She had spent her entire career fighting against the very prejudices her son was now experiencing firsthand. "Stay calm, Jamal. I'm on my way," she said firmly, already heading to her car. Within 20 minutes, a sleek black SUV pulled up near the scene. The door opened and out stepped Angela Thompson, exuding authority and composure. Dressed in a tailored navy suit and heels, she approached the officers with an air of quiet power that commanded respect. The murmurs among the growing crowd grew louder as people began to recognize her. "Good afternoon, officers," she said, her voice steady but laced with an edge. "I understand you're questioning my son. Can you explain the reason for this?" The officers, caught off guard, stammered as they tried to justify their actions. Mary, still observing from a distance, paled as she realized who Jamal's mother was. She clutched her garden hose tightly, her earlier confidence evaporating. Governor Thompson listened carefully to the officer's explanation before turning to her son. "Jamal, are you okay?" she asked, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. When he nodded, she turned back to the officers. "Did he commit a crime? Was there any legitimate reason to stop him? Or was this based on a baseless complaint?" The officers glanced at each other, uncomfortable under her gaze. "We received a call from a resident about suspicious activity," one of them muttered. Angela's eyes narrowed. "Suspicious activity? Riding a bike while black? Is that the standard now?" Her voice was calm, but her words cut like a knife. "I'm deeply disappointed. This is precisely the kind of profiling I've worked to eliminate in our state." As the tension hung in the air, Angela turned her attention to Mary, who was now frozen in place, wishing she could disappear. The governor walked over, her heels clicking against the pavement, and stopped just a few feet away from Mary's porch. "Excuse me, ma'am," Angela said, her voice polite but firm. Were you the one who called the police on my son? Mary stammered, her face turning crimson. I I thought he looked suspicious. I was just trying to protect the neighborhood. Angela's expression didn't waver. Suspicious? He's a 14-year-old boy riding his bike. What exactly about that warranted a call to the police? Mary opened her mouth to respond, but found no words. The weight of her actions and the public scrutiny now surrounding her were unbearable. Angela continued, her tone sharp but controlled. Do you understand the consequences of what you've done? You put my son's safety at risk because of an unfounded assumption. This kind of behavior perpetuates the systemic issues we're trying to dismantle. It's unacceptable. Mary could only nod, tears welling in her eyes. The crowd, which had grown considerably, murmured in agreement, some applauding Angela's words. After ensuring Jamal was safe and the situation was resolved, Angela addressed the crowd. This incident is a stark reminder of the work we still have to do, she said, her voice carrying across the street. No child should ever feel unsafe or unwelcome simply because of the color of their skin. We must confront our biases, hold ourselves accountable, and strive for a community where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. Her words were met with applause, and some in the crowd began approaching Jamal to offer their apologies and support. Mary, however, quietly retreated into her house, the reality of her actions weighing heavily on her. The incident quickly made headlines, sparking widespread conversations about racial profiling and systemic prejudice. Governor Thompson used the platform to advocate for increased anti-bias training for law enforcement and greater community engagement initiatives. Jamal, though shaken by the experience, found solace in the outpouring of support from friends, neighbors, and even strangers. As for Mary, she later issued a public apology, acknowledging her biases and vowing to educate herself. While some questioned the sincerity of her actions, others saw it as a step toward growth and understanding. This story serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of prejudice and the importance of accountability. It highlights the resilience of those who face discrimination and the responsibility of society to challenge and change harmful behaviors. Governor Angela Thompson's unwavering stand for her son not only protected him call for justice, proving that the fight against racism requires both courage and commitment.